Hello, friends. Welcome back to Block Bytes. Let's take a look at the top crypto news from this week. Let's start with the market first. As you can see, the market is all in red. And the main reason is that Bitcoin is going down, making new lows. That means that every other thing in crypto that follows Bitcoin is also going down. Let's take a look at what happened this entire week, because we were supposed to have a lot of funds come in to Bitcoin via the ETFs, and everybody was expecting that Bitcoin is going to skyrocket, but that didn't happen. So let's try to understand why that didn't happen. Take a look at the weekly flows. This has been a massive week for Bitcoin and crypto. Around 1.18 billion US dollars came inside the crypto markets. As you can see from this particular chart over here, this is probably the biggest. It is the biggest inflow seen by the crypto markets ever. And most of them actually came into Bitcoin, as obviously it came through the ETF route. Everything looks great here. A lot of money inflows, but what happened to the price of Bitcoin? Why isn't that going high? So there are two main reasons for it. One is the liquidation that we have seen on the gray scale Bitcoin Trust. So let's take a look at this. Bitcoin has dropped over 15% since the launch of the spot ETFs. Last week, 1.5 billion flew out of Grayscoin Bitcoin Trust, right? So here we see a total of 1.18 came inside. The inflows is less than the outflows, right? So that is, and the overall scenario is negative, right? So that is one of the biggest reasons why Bitcoin is gone down and is still going down. It's quite weak at the moment. And as a matter of fact, if you this particular in this article, JP Morgan says that it's going to weaken further because let me read this out. The bank GBTC Trust here had JP Morgan Bank had previously estimated that up to 3 billion had been invested in GBTC during 2023. If the estimate is correct, and given that 1.5 billion has already exited, there is an additional 1.5 billion to exit via this space. So we could see further downslide in the price of Bitcoin if this continues as it is. So this is the main reason why that is happening. And the second reason is that the miners are also selling their Bitcoin holdings, right? So I have, get rid of this advertisement here.
Knowing that there was somebody who was as well.
So this is what I was looking at. I follow this particular channel, James. His commentary on crypto and Bitcoin and other fundamentals is really nice. I suggest that you follow them as well. So as you can see from this chart that he has shown, the Bitcoin miners are dumping their reserves. You see this particular downslide shows that Bitcoin miners are actually selling their shares of Bitcoin in order to pay not just for their operations, but also in order to get ready for the halving cycle, which is sometime in April. So this is the second pressure, this is the second selling pressure on Bitcoin. And no wonder the price is actually going down, and it's taking the entire crypto ecosystem down with it. So that is the whole story behind the Bitcoin ETF at the moment. The pain is going to continue if we have to believe JP Morgan's report, right? Right. So let's move on to some positive news from other parts of the crypto ecosystem. The first one is from EigenLayer. So EigenLayer has introduced new liquid staking tokens into its protocol, and it's going to unpause the restaking caps, right? So as you're aware, EigenLayer is a liquid restaking protocol where if you have ETH tokens or liquid stake tokens, you can further restake these tokens to get additional yield on top of whatever you're already getting as a validator from transaction fees and others. So they have added a bunch of new LSTs. These includes Frax, Mantle, and liquid staked ETH. So that is one thing, and the other thing is the restaking window, which is currently paused, will open on from this time on the January 29, 12 p.m. Pacific time to February 2nd, 12 p.m. Pacific time. So if you've got liquid staked ETH, you can use this particular time frame or time period to restake that ETH using the EigenLayer app. Right. So this is news. This is good news. EigenLayer is becoming a hot topic these days. And I've done an introductory video on EigenLayer, so make sure to check that out as well. Moving on. All right, let's see what we have. Right. So continuing the topic of restaking, Ethereum restaking protocol Renzo has raised $25 million in capital. And Renzo is, I've opened it up here. So let's take a look at it. So Renzo is this, so this is the liquid staking protocol. So what you can do is you can just click here, and this is similar to other protocols as well, other restaking protocols as well. So if you have ETH, you can connect your wallet and directly deploy that. The moment you get easy ETH, that will automatically also restake that easy ETH on EigenLayer, right? So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to take it and then redeploy it on EigenLayer using their app. So automatically they do it. And in return, you also get, you not only get the EigenLayer points, but you also get their own easy loyalty points. You can check this application out if you're interested in liquid restaking. But yes, so they've raised 3.2, raised $25 million. And I think they will use this mostly to do some additional audits of the protocol, increase the reward for the bug bounty, and integrate more and more DeFi protocols. It also has a plan of supporting other blockchains. So besides Ethereum, it plans to move out to other layer 1s and layer 2s as well in the future. So that is what this new funding is going to help them do. Right? So let's move on. Okay, Aave, the biggest lending protocol on crypto, is now thinking about moving to the Solana ecosystem. The community floated a proposal in which the Aave V3 protocol, they want to deploy Aave V3 protocol on the NeonEVM. And for those who don't know, NeonEVM is an EVM that sits between Solana and Ethereum. It's actually deployed on Solana, if I'm not mistaken. So what it does is it allows communication between Ethereum and Solana. So if you are a EVM compatible smart contract like Aave, you can deploy your smart contract on the NeonEVM, and in turn you will get access to the Solana ecosystem. And NeonEVM takes care of that communication. So this is a good news for Aave, obviously, because it is trying to target the increased liquidity we are seeing and the increased economic activity we are seeing on the Solana blockchain. And on the other hand, it is good for Solana users also, because now using Aave, they can actually get their hands on the massive liquidity that Aave actually has on its protocol. So this is great news for both. Initially, they will do a minimal viable product to begin, just to do a temperature check. It's called to understand. So it'll have very basic functionality, just to see whether the core functionality actually works or not. and how it works. They will run this for a couple of weeks probably before they change it into a full-blown version. So at the moment they're thinking of having Sol, MSOL, GTO Sol as the collateral and a USDC as the asset on this version of Aave. So great news for both Aave and the Solana ecosystem, right? I think I said in a recent interview that 2024 is going. We'll going. I feel that we're going to see a lot of interoperability use cases, interesting interoperability examples, and this is one of them. And yeah, so hopefully things work out all fine for them, and we hope to see much more of such interoperability between blockchains going forward. Okay, let's go on to the next news. All right, so Filecoin made a massive move or announcement. Filecoin said that they have actually managed to demo sending and receiving files or information in space, right? So in the WEF that's currently going on, the Filecoin president and chair Marta Belcher demonstrated the use of Filecoin. So let's take a look at this little video. It doesn't have the demonstration per se, but it has the announcement. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Marta Belcher. I'm chair and president of the Filecoin Foundation.
And hi, I'm Joe Landon, vice president of advanced programs development at Lockheed Martin Space. We're here in Davos.
We are so excited to be here today to announce that we're working together to bring IPFS, the Interplanetary File System, to space.
As we explore further into space, we need to develop in-space infrastructure to ensure that the space economy can grow and thrive without having to rely entirely on Earth. Communications and data storage are critical elements of that infrastructure to enable science, exploration, and development.
From the beginning, IPFS was envisioned as a technology that could make interplanetary networking possible. That's why it's called the Interplanetary File System. Today's centralized internet model just doesn't work in space. Every time you click, that data has to be retrieved from a particular server in a particular place. That means that if you're on the moon, there's going to be a multi-second delay while that data travels from Earth. But with IPFS, data isn't retrieved by where it is, but rather by what it is. So it can be retrieved from wherever's closest to you, eliminating that delay.
Together, the Filecoin Foundation and Lockheed Martin will develop a mission to demonstrate IPFS in space. We're excited to work together to bring this exciting technology to the in-space economy.
All right. So if I understood correctly, they are currently still working together to bring this. So they've not really demoed, but I think okay. So they're in the process of demoing it. So they haven't really worked on it. I mean, a workable demonstration is not at the moment ready, but this is interesting news. And of course, as she said, space exploration and is becoming more and more advanced and involved these days. And as we see, a lot of countries, taking steps towards developing indigenous space programs and collaborating with other countries to send their satellites and space programs. So yes, going forward, there will be a lot of such space exploratory activities happening. And if this project works as intended, then it will be a great boost to the concept. And as I've said before, Filecoin is one of those crypto projects which is actually the most amount of adoption in crypto, if you think about it. And this will only add another badge to the long list of accomplishment that this project has seen so far. So amazing development, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure a lot of people are as well. So let's move on. Okay. So Solana has recently announced that they will be launching a new version, a new model of their Solana Saga mobile phone called Chapter 2. And the moment it was launched and allowed pre-ordering allowed, it was sold out. Over 30,000 of they received 30,000 pre-orders in the first 30 hours itself. Right. It is a cheaper mobile phone and it's called Chapter 2. Let's read through some of the important points here. Demand for Chapter 2 is so high that Solana Mobile hit its 7-day sales target within the first 24 hours. In the first 24 hours after the phone was announced, Solana Mobile saw over 25,000 pre-orders, and by the 30-hour mark, it had 30,000 pre-orders. At those numbers, this new device has already eclipsed 12 months worth of sales of Solana first handset. Imagine, that is the huge amount of demand, and there is a reason for it. So first of all, the price difference is obviously there. They learned their lessons from the first phone, which was launched at around $1,000 and which they had to reduce it to $599 later. This one is cheaper than that, and it's at $450. I think the price point is just right. And the reason why there is the second reason why there is a second and the more prominent reason why there is such a demand for this new phone is because what we've seen with Solana Saga, the first version. Bonk, which is the DApp, came out of nowhere and announced that they were going to transfer 30 million Bonk tokens to Saga owners for free. Right. And that led to a frenzy and everybody wanted to buy Solana Saga. You could see that Saga was being sold on eBay for 5,000, 4,000 US dollars. And 30 million Bonk tokens. Now, for those who actually have the phone, they've received the tokens and the tokens have actually covered their cost already because the Bonk tokens price has increased. So that is amazing. So so in a way they've got the device for free, right? And that is what I think a lot of people are also expecting with the new phone. So let's see what happens. But this is amazing. I mean, this Solana Saga was a revolutionary announcement. Nobody has ever thought about it, but given Anatoly's background in mobile technology, this seems obvious. This seemed obvious in retrospect, but the amount of demand and interest that's Chapter 2 is seeing, it's only emboldened them, I'm sure. And there's nothing more gratifying than the market believing in your message and your product. So I'm sure the Solana Saga team is ecstatic. Just some more things to read out. Chapter 2 is focused on wider distribution, greater accessibility, and user learnings from the last 2 years. So yes. So this is a great move from them, and I think they're just making more and more amazing decisions as an ecosystem, and I'm sure there are much more interesting news to come up from the Solana ecosystem. Moving on. Right. So we've already covered this news in the last couple of weeks that the Financial Intelligence Unit (FIU) in India banned offshore crypto exchanges like Kraken, Binance, OKX, etc. And after that, a lot of Indian users started moving all their funds from these external offshore crypto exchanges back to Indian exchanges. And this is just a continuation of that, where the Indian exchanges have now actually gone forward and making some marketing gimmicks and making sure that the users don't have any issues with transferring their assets to their account, and things of that sort. So they're making it nice and easy for Indian crypto users to move their assets back onto their platform. So this is good news for the for the Indian crypto users, because the last thing you need is, while you're transferring assets from one exchange to another, something goes wrong or it's not allowed, or something of that sort to happen. So good to see that the Indian exchanges are taking this proactively and helping the customers out. So which is nice. All right, let's go on to the next news of the week. Yes, another big news: Ethereum, much awaited Denkung release or upgrade is now on has been deployed on the Goerli testnet, right? So the patch or the update created a little bit of hiccup, but it was nothing to worry about, and the team was able to fix the problem. So now the Goerli testnet has the new upgrade, and it will stay here for a little while before then it moves to the other test nets, and then eventually to the main net, probably sometime mid or end of March, if everything goes fine. So great job by the team as usual. We've seen by the merge and how seamlessly and effortlessly that massive change went into mainnet. But nothing less is expected from this team with this release as well. So I'll be keeping, and I'm sure the crypto community will be keeping an eye out on any updates that come from this particular upgrade. So, all right. So moving on to the last news of this week that I found interesting. Hong Kong finance firm is aiming for a spot Bitcoin ETF in Q1. So we covered a similar news last week in which I think a member of parliament or legislature there said that, because there is so much activity, because the US regulatory have given a green sign or a signal to spot ETFs in the US, Hong Kong should not be left behind, and that the Hong Kong should also go ahead and start the process of launching its own spot Bitcoin ETFs. And lo and behold, we have some news that this finance firm is going to launch its own Bitcoin spot ETF. Let me just read this out. Hong Kong-based financial services firm Venture Smart Financial Holdings Limited is planning to launch its spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund within the first quarter, setting a target of 500 million. And why first quarter? Because it needs to be before the halving, as we all know. Setting a target of 500 million in assets under management by the end of year. Now you can think about this, right? So there is a huge demand coming from the already launched Bitcoin spot ETFs in the US. And then you will now have an additional demand coming from spot ETFs from Hong Kong and perhaps from other parts of the world as well. And then all of a sudden in April, you have halving, which will slash the supply in half. So the demand increases twofolds, at least, right? So so imagine, I can only I mean it's hard to imagine what the price action or what kind of impact this will have on the Bitcoin prices. There are so many price predictions out there anyways, but it's only going to be positive in the long run. So that is for sure. All right, so that is the end of this week's crypto news recap. I hope you liked my selection of news stories, and I will see you next time with another weekly news recap. Bye.